What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rodeo Roundtable, GiG App Worker Roundtable that we do every Thursday night. Again, another one of the guests who's kind of been somewhat on a regular basis, filling in for Michelle Sleet, who had a couple falls, and she was out. Tom Kelly had a heart attack. We've had a lot of people getting beat up here. So Jason, Larry, obviously you're here with us tonight. Don't get hurt. Obviously there's a black cloud that floats over this thing that I
might not have showed up if you'd have told me all this.
I forgot Larry's got a kid's wedding, and we got to make sure he gets to this thing. But Casey is out with some I think she has cluster migraines or whatnot, and she's dealing with some of that today. And as a migraine sufferer myself, that's a couple years past them, they are wicked bad. I can feel that pain.
Better.
But yeah, I had we got the Gig Economy podcast people here. We got Larry, and we got Jason Thierry, and we got Cheyenne, a gig work mama. So this is gonna be our round table tonight. And a week from next Monday is my 5-year anniversary of the podcast, which also but even more impressive is that Jason was the one that helped me start the podcast. He had a podcast going for years. So Jason, how many years?
2017, January 2017. So what's that? 8 years, something like that.
So don't applaud me, applaud him.
Oh no, it's your show, buddy.
Well, everybody. It's not the 5-year anniversary of this. It's my audio podcast.
Oh, gotcha.
So
yeah, I'm glad that I pushed you to start it. So
yeah, for sure.
He is known to peer pressure people into starting podcasts.
Yeah, and he'll help you the whole way too. And he's like, "Oh, good, just got to start later."
Yeah, lose my number.
Peace out.
I'm not your IT.
You guys, we got one serious tough topic here tonight, and it's actually going to bring anybody watching. We're going to have to. Kim is back next Thursday. Michelle Sleet is back next Thursday. Tom Kelly will be here next Thursday. So all of us are here next Thursday. We've been piecemealing this together. So I'm glad we got to get these guys in, because this week especially, we have a rideshare topic to talk about. But I did have the title of this be our gig workers glorified vehicle rentals. And I think there's something, look, for years, I don't even know, a lot of markets try and not do it this way, but the old rate cards, even like a mile, what they paid for a mile, you would make more. You're going to make more on writing it off. What in the later days of the rate card, when it was still around and very accessible. And to me, that right there is, I'm sure there's a lot of ways that legal experts and whatnot could jump into this and go, well, you need to look at this from all sides and really dissect that. But just the first mention of that sounds like an issue right there to me. The government's going to pay you more for every mile on your car than the company you're contracting to do work for.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah.
And it's been that way for a long time. So when I said that, what I was just meaning is, as these prices go down, where does our maybe does everybody, we don't all keep the same books. We don't all use Stride. We don't all use whatever we use. Some people might just use pen and paper. Some people might just fill up their tank at the end of every day and go, listen, I filled the tank and whatever's left over is my money. And they don't put any aside for maintenance or anything. And that's their way of doing it. But we all have our own ways. But no matter what, you got to have a point where you're going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this my vehicle
hobby
losing value, or am I making money?
Yeah.
I think the issue is everyone justifies, and me included. I've done it too. Like, oh, it's fine. I made enough tonight. They create this scenario in their head that I'm still making a ton of money, but never. It's really hard to really dial in exactly how much you're making, because every car is different. Like driving an electric vehicle, there's literally no maintenance. But how much am I killing the car by driving it? You know what I mean? So I think everyone has their limits or their breaking point. But then do we really actually know what that is?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, because they don't know what their gas mileage is. They don't know the depreciation that their car, a lot of people don't know. And they're not even factoring it in.
No, as long as they have $100 at the end of the day, they're happy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But there is a point where you have to look at it and say, okay, this has become a hobby. This is not a job anymore, or this is not a gig anymore. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it.
So I'm gonna real quick say hi to the people here in chat. What's up, Traveler? What's up, Rick? What's up, Tom Kelly? Hey, check your cell. Okay.
Your cell phone.
Will do. What's up, Bubba Sue? What's up, Deb? Hey, Kevin Hawthorne, Christopher Taylor, thank you for those memberships. Always appreciate you. Derek, what's going on? And Tom, excuse me. Excuse you. I hope you're feeling better, buddy. And we'll see you next week. But here's the biggest topic today, and there's a bunch, you guys. We had the Coco robot thing from last week got very strange. I don't know if Cheyenne did or not. I put explicit language on mine because I've never done that on any of my videos.
Really? I forgot.
But we had a guest, and I've had him on many times. We've had him on before. He's a fun guest, but he runs a little hot.
Hotter than me?
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh really?
You know this? You might have seen him on TikTok a while ago. He doesn't do as much TikTok anymore. He's much more YouTube oriented now. But Matt Dasher,
definitely heard of the name, but
he's very animated. He's very in your face and like just. But he has a lot to say, and his perspective is right on. But he can get lost and start swearing. And his name's Daniel. He's a friend of mine. Great guy.
Yeah, this goes off the rails.
Awesome.
We would have just been beep 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 beep.
Yeah,
it was just like.
It was definitely a very good conversation. Like I loved a lot of the points that he brought in, but I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't curse on my channel.
Yeah. Oops.
Well, I mean, so I let a little goes by on mine where I wouldn't put explicit, but that one was explicit. So I know a lot of people enjoyed it last week, so we'll see if Jason can fill that.
We can drop a few F-bombs if you really want us to.
I mean, if it's that bad, I'm not going to be that way.
But this, and everybody's involved here tonight. I don't care if you do rideshare or not on this part, because we all need to talk about this, because I mentioned it to Larry just real briefly in passing as we were before we came live here. This Colorado House Bill 1291, with everything else we've been through, it's actually, if you guys look at it, it's really kind of a serious issue. And it's a serious issue because the House of Representatives member who's spearheading this bill was the victim of sexual assault. And so that's kind of helped
in a rideshare. And
so she's kind of, she on top of all these other transparency bills that they've had to deal with this year, and they have, and it's been good for all of us. We're now dealing with this bill that if it passes, Uber, and I mean throughout it, and I know, I sent this to Sergio, I sent it to the rideshare professor, I sent it to all the peeps that I would talk to about this kind of thing, and they said, yeah, we know, it's just, they're just crying wolf though, they won't leave. This is different. I don't know that they wouldn't leave, because their point is very well taken. Like, and the bigger problem becomes as we go into this, you guys, is that you might find yourself saying like, yeah, maybe Uber's right. And I don't want to say that either. But what I was mentioning to Larry was they've cried wolf so many times in so many states, like, hey, click this and make sure that and it'll write your senator saying that Uber's good and we make you money, and just you shut up. And if you want to earn, just click this. And they really have like baited you into that. Mm-hmm. And now they've got it out there, and it's and they have it where it's, hey, click this. And it's almost like they cried wolf so many times. But the reality is, this is a big deal. This House Bill 1291 means a dedicated video camera that is recording audio and video all the time, and they have to keep the record, and so it can be reviewed. Meaning, what you read in this as the opposition is Uber saying, well, that's going to be a lawsuit a day. Even on the non-sexual ones or whatever, everybody's going to have a claim to a lawsuit. They're going to go after the driver. They're going to go after this. And I can see that. But the other thing is, they're not going to change their, I already talked to a lobbyist here. They're not going to change their terms of service. They're not even going to tweak it because they can't, because then nationwide it has a bad look. But it was looked at because they can't keep saying independent contractor. And now you can't have us be independent contractors and have a camera recording us. If I'm an employee of Uber and I'm in a Uber vehicle, or I'm even chartering out mine to that as part of pay for a W-2 employment, there could be a thing I'm signing on to that says that they can tape me. But me as an independent contractor, which they have to define us by, they can't keep video and audio records. I mean, they're breaking just the basis of of what all this is. And I don't really know what to think. Because this isn't, it was even mentioned, I know Larry read it, that, the only city we've ever seen them leave was Austin. And in here, they don't mention it by the name Austin, but they said that, they've left a city here or there, but they say they've never left a state. And this is the first state they're very seriously considering leaving. So
obviously you're against having the camera in there, or you're just saying that it just flirts the line of independent contractor and employee.
I'm against it, period, because as a driver, I think it's gonna, it's gonna be like TMZ. It's gonna be, what angle did it catch? Was I leaning over to open a door oh wait, did he touch her? Did he, you know what I mean? It's gonna be like forensic files on these things.
We definitely talked about it in our show a couple of times, actually, I think. Yeah. And I said I would be okay with it, but I would run a second dash cam.
Well, so I have mine running all the time. I have my display ride, my monitoring system. Mm-hmm. I just don't know that I want a company that is like the title, glorified car rental. Like, I don't know if I want that company that I barely do business with because I can accept offers from them that I can make some sense of and make a little money. Mm-hmm. But it's not like I have all this faith and I put all my faith into Uber. I don't love Uber. I don't think they're a great company. I don't think they're ethical. I don't know that I want them having a black box to all of my video that's in my car while I'm driving.
I get that. I don't want it either, but like, I always look at it, and I think I look at it a little bit different now. And I always relate stuff back to school bus driving, because I'm on camera the entire time on that bus. You know what I mean? And I just know, I'm used to it. I'm fine. They can pull it. And I am an employee. So,
but you're an employee though.
Right. But I'm okay with it because it keeps me from losing my shit at times. It doesn't keep the kids doing it. But I just feel like, I don't want Big Brother in there, but I do feel like it will keep some shady characters from making the decisions that they're going to make. You know what I mean?
I guess I don't want years of some backlog and like all of us, like, what if like right now I'm part-timing it and I get this great job that I put I've been looking for a job for 3 years in this field and finally I get one. I'm past this. I'm not doing it even part-time. And I get this call that says I sexually assaulted somebody.
It's true. Yeah.
Did you drive for Uber from 2022 to 2023? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're being sued.
Yeah. There's always that risk. There is regardless though, even without the camera.
Yeah. With the camera, you literally can go pinpoint it to the ride. And I think that could lead to some after the fact type stuff too. Look, you're going to get people who are like, look, let's get some free. What's the next level behind be more than getting free food or getting a free ride?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Well, then maybe I should just wait a week and then claim that this guy stole something from me or touched me, or I don't know. I think claims will be through the roof because I think support sucks. We know that.
Well, if claims won't be to the roof because they have video evidence. You're going to claim that, the driver did this and they're going to go, okay, we did. And he didn't do that. Or railroad you and deactivate you. I don't know.
Okay, but what about like Larry? Like you have people in your car all the time.
Yeah.
What about like it's night, people are getting in, and Larry, I always say this when he's on here, so I'm gonna plug it here. Check him out on Instagram. It's in the show links because he's always got like lots of girls in his car.
Oh
They're
wow!
always smiling and happy. But what about like
what
that
a way
one,
to bring it up.
that like leans over to say something to Larry, and he's like the one going, "Excuse me, watch it. I don't want you. I'm driving here." But
Yeah.
all of a sudden, that moment is captured where he's semi close to some of her private parts or something, but it's not like that. He's driving and like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, they can now. I mean, Jesus, we have AI. You can just make it all up anyway.
Oh
Have
wow!
to recreate it fakely. But
We're
I mean,
going
my
down
point
that
is
road?
like you'll be able to still frame it and say, "See right there."
I don't know. I'm not too worried about it, honestly. Like I feel like I'm recorded all the time everywhere I go. I just hope people aren't going to be douchebags. You know what I mean? I know that's a dumb way to
But
live.
see,
I'm
like
not-
you and I and Larry, like and China, I don't even know if you use a dash cam. I don't even know if we've ever talked about that.
No, I don't use a dash cam.
I mean, you're in Canada. Maybe you don't need them. You guys are
Well,
pretty
no,
chill.
You need one.
Kind of do.
Yeah.
You kind of do, but I don't use one.
But
I was thinking about it.
But so, okay, if, for those of us, the three others here on the panel, though, tonight, we all ride with the dash cam. Like,
Mhm.
I'd much rather just have Uber, and like mine isn't an SD card. Mine goes to the cloud and I can pull the footage and all kinds of cool things.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have Uber pay for half of that a month. And like any footage you need, I got it. Like, or whatever, like help me offset my price of how I do it independently.
Well, that's
The
the
problem is
reason
they
I think
can't access that.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have the full control of it. They're going to be like, "Nah, we're
Yeah.
good."
Yeah.
Well, but see, and then therein lies the problem, though. This is
Mhm.
why Uber, and Larry, you correct me if I'm wrong, but in this article, the way I read it, and in all the articles I've read, is the reason they would have to leave is because of that exact same thing. They're going to have to keep the data of every driver and be able to access it and say, yeah, he touched you. No, he didn't. We'll go to court on that one. We won't on this one. We pay that one off. And which already sounds like what they do in the country. But
Yeah.
I mean, now it would be this system of how to.
The bottom line is, if I get accused of that, I want video camera. I don't care if it's from Uber or from my camera. I want it. You know what I
But
mean?
Jason, if you got accused for it right now, and like, so like, let's say Uber has to do this and they have to put a second
Mhm.
camera in, you're still running yours, and you've got this Uber camera that's, let's say it's right next to your video. So you got two dash cams.
Yeah.
And let's say Uber's recording the one, you get a thing in your your email saying, hey, we had an issue last night. You were reported, blah, blah, blah. Which camera are you going to pull the footage?
Well, I won't be able to pull the Uber one. I won't have access.
If you had a login, which one are you going to first?
Well, I would go to mine.
I would go to mine.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You're going to go to your camera and go, wait, what happened? Because that right there alone shows us our distrust in Uber.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to have a copy of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't trust him to give me the correct copy. That's why I would always run a second one, because I'm going to pull it right away. And then I'm going to be like, okay, what you got?
Yeah. I mean, and we all run dash cameras. The thing is, especially with the SD card ones, like a lot of us run, if something happens a month from now, I'm not going to have that video. I'm not going to have it. And
I agree.
Unless something happened that causes you to think, I need to save that in case something comes up. But if it's just out of the blue and some person decides to just make it up, I'm not going to have that video.
Yeah.
We run Van Trues, and maybe they have a cloud service, but the ones, I have just an SD card. Maybe it's a good habit just to swap that out every other day. Oh, that's a pain in the ass. I don't want to do that.
Well, plus you're going to,
Yeah.
who's relying on you to do that too? I mean, like we already know people can't handle basic things. Like they're not going to.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we ripped Uber and a big asshole last night at our show. It was so bad. Like I was so despondent after the show. I'm like, why do we work for this crappy company?
Sketchy, very sketchy.
We make money for them, but God, they're terrible.
Sold our soul to the devil.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
So as I was saying though at the beginning, I did take a picture from the customer side of the app, and here's what it was, and it pissed me off, man, because I open it, and this is not my Uber account, this is my customer side Uber account, and in there, and that's very rare. Even here it says keep Uber in Colorado, take action. But you know what really pissed me off? Look below it.
Yeah, save on teens first ride.
I mean, that's been my fight since day one. So like, screw. Now I'm like pissed. Like, okay, burn, man. Save on the teens first ride. You guys are talking about it's a safety law, and right beneath it, you have the most unsafe thing you do.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
They're idiots. They don't care.
Well, they're still pushing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's from the
And
customer
summertime is
side.
coming
Inside.
up.
Do you want to learn about our illegal teen rides, or do you want to support us not having to record these?
Hey, you got to hook them young, man. You got to hook them young. Get them hooked young.
So what? Going back to the bill, what is the timeline on this? Does it have to go to like the House and the Senate and all that crap?
Yeah, but they have bipartisan. Dude, our state is so screwed up right now. We need some readjusting. No matter where you sit politically, we're just a real mess.
Yeah, it has broad bipartisan support at the Capitol.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
They want to kick this through. They can kick this through real quick.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's not looking good for Uber then.
Yeah, I mean, in here it said that. So here's the quick little like niche about Lyft. All that they have on Lyft is Lyft says it opposes the bill, but it isn't threatening to leave Colorado if it becomes law. At least not yet.
Yeah, they're ready to scoop in when Uber bails.
Yeah, but
how big is Uber in your area, Steve? Because I know
it's
like,
huge.
You don't? Is it?
Oh, huge. I mean, Uber Eats to DoorDash. I don't, even then Uber Eats still pretty big, but yeah, I mean, this is a huge city. I mean, Denver's not small at all.
No.
I know that you live in a huge city too.
Yeah.
But like we're big. I mean, we've always been a big city, but we've grown so much over the past like 4 or 5 years that it really has become huge. So this would be a big market to lose. So for Uber though, one thing about Colorado is you have Colorado Springs, you have Fort Collins, maybe Pueblo, you consider that. And then you have Denver, and really that's it. The rest are little scattered mountain towns that are cool and whatnot. So we really only have 3 cities that have any population. Boulder would be part of Denver.
Yeah, I mean, any big city, they're going to be popular. You know what I mean? Yeah, there might be a little bit of swing for Lyft and Uber as far as percentage. It might be 60-40 one way, or then, the next city might be reversed. But I don't know anywhere that you can't really get an Uber in a major city that is just booming. So
plus we're a big location for places to come to have conferences. We have amazing conference centers here and stuff, and so a lot of travelers have Uber as their default app.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of corporate.
So, yeah,
I use Uber a lot whenever I traveled for work.
One thing we talked about last night, I don't mean to derail you real quick, but talking about customer service and how bad Uber's customer service is. This is where I wish an app would just step up and try to, like, you know what I mean? Like, flip the script. And I know it's really hard to do, but like, I think people would jump ship if they were treated more like humans. Cause like, even like if you ask for a refund, I tell people all the time, if you ask for a refund, they're going to deny it. Just keep talking to them. They will eventually give you, like for Uber Eats or something. If the, like,
got to wear them down.
You wear them down, but like, it shouldn't be that way. You know what I mean? It should be like, okay, maybe a little bit of pushback, but then like, okay, and then I get there's scammers out there too, but just a little better customer service. I think people would jump ship.
I think we all need to start getting on board with the fact, because it's happening even across the board with all of them. Like Curry used to have somebody that answered the phone. You can't get anybody anymore with Curry.
Really?
I mean, I know some people, but like, nobody doing the app would have good luck. But I mean, like, it still pays good and you still got to do your thing. But like, even Delivered, who had people in America handling all of they'd answer the phone right away. They still have that kind of service, but it's not now. It's out of country. So I mean, that decline just seems to be happening, and with the way AI is moving, I really don't see customer support being around more than like another 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the reason we were even talking about Uber customer support was because we did a story on somebody whose 5-year-old daughter was in the Uber, and she got out to go around to get her, and the guy took off, and it took an hour. And the police contacted Uber, and they're like, "That's against our policy. We're not giving you any information." And that's
exactly the story I was going to bring up.
Insane that they would
crazy.
Not help them out. I mean, they don't have any problem contacting me right away if somebody leaves a phone in my car.
Right.
But a kid?
Nah. A kid, nope, can't do that. It's against their policy.
I mean, and then, you know, and then there's everybody talking, like, again, I was watching all these people like us. And again, I'm sorry, creators who create on this stuff and say things that are wrong, but I just had to put that out there. But autonomous is way far off. I've talked to some of the engineers in this space, and I've talked to people who really do know. But even like Derek Khosrowshahi this week said, you know, like, well, finally, this seemed like something like, I'm not going to get on board with it, but that actually seems like a projected number you could use, and people could go by that. He said that in a handful of major cities, that by the end of the decade, we could see 20 to 30% of the rides being autonomous.
That seems low to me.
Oh, but see, that's realistic.
Yeah, that's
like,
true. It does.
Everybody's been so long that we're just used to the lie.
Yes.
Probably.
That's crazy.
You know, it's like it's like the Mormons. You know, the spaceship didn't come, so they rewrote the book.
I'm not going to alienate a religion on your show.
Sorry, I mean,
oh,
you're not going to.
Did you see Christopher Taylor's comment at 9:26?
Sorry, Mormons.
I'm just joking. I would have probably done that same line. So
I'm just reading.
Steve, did you see Christopher Taylor's comment at 9:26 about Uber Teen?
I'm beginning Uber. Average.
You get a free meal?
I'm down.
What?
Oh yeah.
You sign your kid up for Uber Teen, you get a free meal.
That's crazy.
They should have that free meal be in a white van outside the house that says free candy.
Oh, Jason, you sign up everybody on your bus, man. Just sign them all up. You'll eat for a month.
Hey, if I can get a free meal, I'm down.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Uber affiliate links for children.
That's crazy.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me though.
I'm sorry. I mean, like they honestly, the funny thing that you guys were just talking about free meal, like they did just launch it in Australia. And in Australia, that's what they did, was they were like, hey, free first meals on us. Uber Teen.
But I mean that's pretty common though. I mean, we joke, but
what, luring?
You're calling that luring?
Dude, I'm calling what they do to us luring. I'm calling that straight up baiting, like putting something on a bait and throwing it and just reeling it in.
It is weird to be like,
it is
sign up your teen or give us your teen for this and we'll give you some food.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the fact that your teen is not safe.
Yeah.
It's because people have woke up to the cost of it, and so now it's one of those things like, okay, let's go after the kids.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're trying. I mean, obviously because those kids are going to become adults, so they're trying to get them into the system.
Yeah, you want to get them ingrained into that habit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cars are becoming almost unaffordable.
Yeah.
You know, and so they had that gap after the pandemic to work with, where like we saw those kids who at 16 weren't getting their license till like 17 or 18.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was the kid at day I was 16, I was right there in line.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
you know, so it's like, but now they were like showing how they're not, so they don't really care. So if you can show them this alternative method of transportation that will take half of their money they earn, plug into the matrix, kids. Just give Uber half of everything you do, and they will feed you and drive you around.
Yep. DoorDash the other half.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. This is we are at a high risk here. If you, I mean, for those that want, I'll put the link to the article into the show notes, because this is worth reading if you are interested in this stuff at all, because if it happens here, obviously it can happen elsewhere. A lot of other people are following some of these other bills, but I don't know. I mean, so Jason, you're down. You would sign up. You would be on board with this, both as a customer. I mean, I guess, okay. So as a customer and as a driver, you'd do this.
I mean, I'm not going to sign up for it, but I would still drive if it was mandatory. I would still do it. I wouldn't give up.
That's signing up for. I mean, you can't opt out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then I would continue to drive. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. Again, I would always run my second one. That's the only caveat. If they said, hey, you could put this in here, but you can't have any other cameras, then I'm done. Like I still want to have 100%. My own camera.
Yeah.
So
yeah. My camera is, I've used my camera several times and just nothing. It's funny. It's never been anybody in the car. It's been people running into me.
So
I don't mean to laugh.
Cheyenne, if you were doing rideshare and they said, hey, listen, we need to videotape everything you do while you're on the platform. It's for your safety and the customers. Would you continue to do it?
So I love how you started that with if I was doing rideshare, because I would never do rideshare.
I know.
But if I was doing rideshare, then yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Okay.
We're recorded everywhere. Like everywhere.
Exactly.
It's crazy. But
I guess
my
concern is the hands that are keeping this.
Well,
that's my problem. I don't trust those hands. So.
Well, I don't trust them for anything. That's the problem. But it's dealing with the devil. You kind of got it. And this may be you're too far, right? You like
that's what I'm saying. This might be my too far.
Like, okay, I'm done. You can fuck me on some things and take some, some bonuses away. I can make it work. But if you make me do a camera, I'm out. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you saying that you don't want it. Like, don't stick to your guns, man.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Ed. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I mean, but I've been running a camera since I've been doing it.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it since 2015. I've had a camera the whole time. I've gone through a couple SDs. I now use the monitoring platform, but I wouldn't use Ubers. And Ed actually is a retired taxi driver, New York City, lives down in Florida, and they do a taxi stand hour. But it's more of like some retired taxi stand hour people just having a good time on Sunday morning. So I'm going to plug his show right there because they do a really fun show on the weekends on
driver
Sundays.
In New York City.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So look at Ed's comment though, 100% to driver's benefit.
Right, but what I was mentioning when I put that up there is I said, would you? I mean, I have a camera. Larry does. Like, this is before any of the Uber stuff. We all have cameras going.
Yeah, I wish Van True would do a.
Yeah, that's true, Bubba Sue. Actually, I wouldn't like the fact that it's recorded 100% of the time. Because, like, what if you're on a private conversation? Like,
no, I don't think it would record 100%. I think it would start when the ride starts and end when the ride ends.
That's how it should be.
That'd be cool.
That's how it should be, but I don't know that it would.
There's no way legally they would do that, and they should put a shutter on it too. That you can shut it when you don't have the ride. And then if you go to start the ride, it'll say, hey, sorry, can't start the ride till you open that shutter.
Yeah.
Exactly. That I would be okay with.
Steve.
But all the time?
Yeah, no way. There's no way they'd get away with that.
No.
Because I would be on the news because I say some really bad shit in my car when I'm by myself. I do some
and that's what I'm thinking too. Like, what about like the thing that gets morphed and it then the AI jumps in? It's like, well,
you and the freaking AI.
Well, it's like we need some dude. We haven't had we got to throw enough drivers under the bus that are gonna. We got to meet our quota of ones we caught that molested children. We didn't have any in the Grand Rapids area. Throw Jason under the bus this month. We'll just make up some stuff with AI.
I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I mean, like, I'm a nobody. They're not going to do that. They're, I'm not.
That's what every nobody ever said.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wait, Bubba Sue, it's 100% of the time?
That's how I was written. 100% recording. Then I'm out. Yeah.
Then I'm out.
I can't do that.
I
can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how do they justify that? Like you start when you want and you end when you want.
Yeah, I mean, I would just unplug it.
And how do they justify that? Like
Oh, Ed, you got to turn that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to kill the tab that's open that has us playing.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you got to kill the tab.
It's a wormhole.
One moment. One moment. Hold on. There we go. How we doing, folks?
Hey, what's up, Ed? How you
We're
doing?
good. Hi.
So
Good
for
evening,
everybody who
all.
doesn't know
Good
Ed is good people. It was taxi stand hour. I don't know. What do you
It's
guys
just
say
killing
about-
time now.
Yeah.
Just killing time. Overall, we're radio TFI. We have radio, we have audio, we have video. But I do want to touch in, if you guys don't mind. For some reason, my headphones aren't working. I do want to touch in on the camera issue.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. The cab company that I used to work for, that I drove for, I was associated with for about 35 years. The last few years I was there, they had cameras installed in the cabs. The camera pointed out, the camera pointed in. There were two lenses, one camera. Just like any dash cam. It was all cloud. It went to, the company we used was in San Diego. We were in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. While it constantly recorded, it would only save if there was an incident, say an accident, a sharp turn. The driver could hit a button, and it would then save the previous 8 seconds and the next 12 seconds. So you had a 20-second gap there if a customer was messing with you or anything like that. So you could, the company, I used to go in and watch the videos a lot. I operated a lot of cabs, so they let me watch the videos I had about 20 some odd taxis going at the time. And so I would go in and, you see things, guys are running and backing into shopping carts and all that. And, that's all fine and well. At the beginning, we had a lot of drivers that did not want to have the cameras. Those drivers were spoken to, and there was no expectation of privacy. This is what had to be. This is the point I'm getting at. Once you have a customer in the car, and Uber, let's face it, they got their own set of problems. But once you have a customer in the car, your expectation of privacy is out the window. That's for both of you. That's both the driver and the passenger. So, I mean, I firmly believe a dash cam. How do you pronounce your name, you young lady? Cheyenne.
Cheyenne.
I apologize.
Nice.
Even if you're not doing passenger rides, you can spend $25, get the cheapest dash cam there is on Amazon. Throw an SD card in it. You never have to think about it again until you need it. You always have to think of that as like the fire extinguisher theory. You don't want it. It looks ugly sitting there, but gosh darn it, when you need that thing, when you need to pull out that 30 seconds of video that shows, no, you weren't at fault. As far as passengers go, the system we used had a nice wide angle lens. You could see everything. We had drivers in the company I was with who got a little handsy with passengers, and it came back, and there was video there to back that up in some cases. We had drivers that got robbed that were able to hit the button. I think within the first week, we had 2 robberies, and they both got caught. Two different taxi drivers. My favorite video, and again, I was privy to see a lot of this stuff. One of the original test vehicles was out driving around one day, got T-boned by a police car. The police, the officer they were going to write this driver up for everything. They were going to claim it was his fault. On the video, the camera got knocked off its little perch, and you can hear one of the officers say, Nobody say a word. The camera's running. City of Fort Lauderdale bought Yellow Cab a new car because you don't have the camera. That poor bastard, that driver would have been, they would have run him right up a flagpole.
Yeah.
They would have written him 1,000 different tickets just to cover themselves. So I have yet to have anybody explain to me the downside of a camera. And my personal,
I've had a camera since I started.
Right.
And so, I mean, and I would, even if I didn't do gig work, I would still maintain a camera these days. People are just crazy. It's just smart to have one, period.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, I've used mine because people have run into me. I've had a guy rear end me, then he claimed he never hit me. And I sent the video, I sent the clip to his lawyer, and he's like, well, we're dropping this guy. You know?
Yeah. If you don't mind, you've got a whole nother issue going on here with leaving anything up to Uber. I mean,
that's my concern. I have my dash cam and it's great.
Right.
Now, and it records it to the cloud like you were talking about. It's called Display Ride. It's great.
See,
what Uber would need to do in the case of this new bill is put a second camera in, like basically an Uber camera that says Uber on it. Now, Uber will maintain all of the data for both customer and driver.
What would need to happen is, again, the same company. Now, I haven't been with that cab company about 6 years. And by the way, Steve, I no longer live in South. My cab company was in South Florida. I live in New York now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But again, this company is third party. Again, I wouldn't trust Uber I don't trust them, period. They're the reason I'm in New York City now and I'm no longer in the taxi business. We're not going to go down that happy path right now. But personally, I think in your circumstances, anybody doing, I hate the word rideshare because it's not accurate. You're doing transportation. A rideshare is me pulling up to a red light. Yeah, rideshare to me is me pulling up to a red light, and Larry says, "Hey Ed, are you going past Big Joe's Tavern?" Yeah, I am. All right, hop in. Now we're sharing a ride. But Uber is not to be trusted. They're not going to leave Colorado. Remember, by the way, they didn't just leave Austin. They left Broward County, Florida, too, because we weren't playing nice with them. They eventually came back. It was a whole big thing, and again, I could get into all that. But as far as cameras go, you can have a third party maintaining the video itself. The problem is you got to have somebody maintaining the camera. Whether you have your own camera or not, you're foolish not to. I mean, just period. Because you need to be able to back yourself up. The beauty of a dash cam, when I first moved to New York 6 years ago, before I got started what I'm doing now, I did drive a New York City taxi for about 4 weeks. Had a dash cam in. Again, I won't go into the long story, but I had an off-duty New York City police captain who decided he was going to show me who's boss because he's a cop and he can do whatever he wants. Literally chased me down Old Broadway. With it, I had a passenger in my cab, and I have it all on video. He didn't show a badge. He was off duty. It's a long story, but eventually, But without that,
so here's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
The question.
I'm taking over here, and I apologize.
No, that I would have for you, Ed, is that so if Uber did this nationwide, because none of us I think all of us, no matter where you stand on anything, none of us like the idea of too much Big Brother. It's there. There's some degree we can't do anything about it, but Big Brother being Uber, it goes nationwide, and every Uber driver has to put this Uber camera in. I mean, isn't my first advice to anybody that's still going to be with Uber if that happens is go buy your own dash camera now.
Right.
And because you definitely don't want to be trusting Uber.
Oh, without question. For those of you that don't know me, I mean, I do have my experience with Uber. I drove briefly for them when everything was falling apart. I lost 20 some odd cabs. Look, my story is been replicated all across the country. But I don't trust any of them, any of these companies. And when I tuned in, Steve, I heard you saying, what's the company? Curry? I was very disappointed because I know how high you were on that company when they first started, and to hear you saying,
I still am. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, but the fact that you can't even reach somebody, the average driver can't reach somebody.
Yeah.
Guys, when this outfit first started, this man right here, he was higher than the Colorado Rockies. Let me tell you, he loved it. I'm not saying you still don't, but he was
I absolutely do.
Oh, he was all over the place with that guy.
But I mean, all of them have lost their customer service.
Yes.
So I mean, it doesn't. I mean, even the big guys like Walmart, Spark. Good luck. I mean, like if you have a real issue, I don't know, but little issues, they're all moving to AI now.
Yeah, well, just that again, I'm happy to not be part of that industry anymore. I'm doing what I'm doing, and which has nothing to do with. It does have to do with transportation, but not for the public. And believe me, I don't envy you folks. No, you're not. You're not doing a community. Oh, stop that! You don't want to have this fight with me. Are you kidding me?
Actually, you know what, Jeff? Actually, you'd get along with Jeff really well, because Jeff, Mike Drop Barbecue in Arizona, he all the time is like, he's got a great channel, and he's always telling people, get your own clients, get off these apps.
Absolutely.
Stop working for these apps. Get your own clients. He's like, he preaches it daily. So
if you have to be if you're in that business, you should only be using Uber, Lyft, and all these other apps to steal business. Get yourself the proper insurance so that you can operate independent of them. And I'm sorry, I don't buy that their insurance covers anything, but that's just me. Get your own commercial insurance. Make sure you're legit as far as you can be. You have your phone. You hand your card to people. Make the rates. You find out, what did Uber charge you today? Oh, they charge you $60. In the future, I'll do it for $40. Because what are you losing? You're still making money. You're still making money.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go. I'm with. Hey, Mike Drop Barbecue, or that's a lot. That's a mouthful, man.
Yeah.
How about just Q? No, Q's been done before. We don't want to get into that whole mess. But no, he's absolutely 100% right. Near the end, as Uber was starting to take over where we were, and again, my drivers were all legitimate legal taxi drivers. I owned and operated legal legitimate taxis, and I had been preaching that for years, even before Uber. Get your own customer, because you had a cell phone. Two greatest inventions for the cab driver were the ATM and the cell phone. Nothing better. Believe me, I was a night driver, and you had people get in. Oh, I got to go inside and get your money. Oh, they come back out, but they come back out with that jar of coins you have on your dresser. That's what they come out. But generate your own business, get your own clients. Unfortunately, I had to leave. I'm gone out of the business completely about 6 years now. I still get the occasional phone call from old clients of mine. And once you've established your clientele, you're going to lose people. You're going to gain people.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing Uber at the end. Again, it's a long story. Primarily to find those little nuggets, those people. Hey, man, how you doing? Oh, can I call you directly? Yes, you can. Why? Because I had the commercial insurance. I had everything I needed to operate legitimately. I don't care how well you know a customer, how long you know a customer. Oh, he's like a friend. Go ahead, get in an accident and see how friendly he is. Mm-hmm. He's going to rat you out. Anyway, and again, I apologize. I'm getting off on a...
No, I mean, to everybody that doesn't know Ed, because I've known Ed for a while, what I'll summarize his story is... What I would summarize your story as is like, you had a lifelong career, in the taxi industry, and it was great, but I feel like the closure to it for you wasn't what it should have been.
Oh no.
Like the way that it all unfolded at the end with Uber and the timing of Uber and all this stuff, just really, you had seen trials and tribulations for many years, but nothing like this.
I had tried, I was just about to shut down my operation. I was going to sell off whatever I could, keep one car for myself, kind of semi-retire. Uber showed up. My business was leasing out taxis. Well, it got to the point guys couldn't make they couldn't make a dime out there. What had been little slivers of the pie, and everybody, there was enough there. I knew plenty of drivers, owned homes, sent their kids to college, but we went from little slivers of pie to a bowling ball being dropped on it, and now it's just crumbs. We went from 900 legitimate taxis to 900 legitimate taxis plus upwards of 20,000 Ubers. There was just nothing. Nobody was making any money. For me, what you guys don't know is that I landed. The reason I'm in New York City, this is where I was born and raised. My three brothers are in a profession that I was able to get myself into thanks to them and people I'd known since I was a kid. It pays very well. It has set me up nicely for my upcoming retirement. I landed on my feet. I'm one of the very few. I was fortunate. Very few. Too many people out there lost everything. I lost everything. Everybody lost everything. Do not trust Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, any of them. It's you're first.
100%.
You are first.
And that's kind of all the comments I'm seeing here in the chat are kind of reflecting that as well.
Yeah.
Get your own clients, even like Bud Soda here, like even off rideshare app clients, get those catering, food,
right,
grocery. Just do you. These apps are like a training ground to get some customers.
Right. The only other thing I would suggest to people is if you know people or you become friendly with other people doing similar things, you form a loose network, because there are going to be times you're going to need your customers covered because you're tied up with something else. And we always had, for the years and years, I still drove right up till the end, even when I was running my company a couple nights a week. But we had a loose network of drivers. If I couldn't cover my clients, I would call, hey, Larry, can you do this? Hey, Bob, can you, and they would do the same for me. And usually it's a group of 4 or 5 people, and it just, you work it out however you're going to work it out. But so your customers also know that they are going to be covered by somebody who has a similar mindset to you. They operate the same way. I'm here for the customer. Let's move on. The other thing I would say, once you start doing that, never lie to your customers. If you can't make it, say, I can't make it.
Mm-hmm.
I had too many people.
Yeah.
Oh, I called so-and-so, and he said he'd be here in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, he was on the other side of the county, because guys don't want to give up the you're not wrong there, Mr. B. Shall we call him B squared? B squared Q?
Well, his name's Jeff, but
I'm having more fun with this. But he's not wrong there.
No, he's Jeff and I talk a lot, and him and I are on that same page where it's not really it's not for everybody yet, but we're trying to get you guys there.
It's
that at least you don't have to fully base on it, but get some clients, see that difference in pay, make some negotiations yourself.
Right. And you always keep the apps. We did that with our dispatch system and with the taxi company, and a lot of the drivers did it. Sure, you get a dispatch, you go pick up somebody. Oh, hey, how you doing? I like your car. You're nice. You're friendly. You're funny. You're a handsome devil. Oh, I heard that more times than I wanted.
So,
do you have a card? Yes, and that and so we use the yellow cab dispatch system as a feeding ground.
mm-hmm.
And I believe the young lady here, who I still can't pronounce her name, is Cheyenne. Help me. Cheyenne. It's right there on the screen. and yet I'm...
That's all right.
But Cheyenne, now, if I understand it correctly, you just do delivery stuff, or?
Yeah, I don't do rideshare.
Okay.
She's up in Canada as well, too.
Canada, eh? Where in Canada?
I'm in Montreal.
You poor thing.
Well, I'm in the suburbs of Montreal, but
It doesn't matter. You ain't get back. Hey,
yes, I am.
I'm all for the separatist issue. I say cut Quebec off, send them adrift. We can talk about that some
Yeah,
other time.
it's crazy.
But so now in your case, I don't know much about the delivery thing, so I'm not even going to try to speculate here. I'm doing a guy thing here. I'm starting to solve problems nobody asked me to solve. My point here was to chime in on the camera thing. But again, if you don't have a camera, get one. Amazon can.
I actually have a dash cam here. I just don't
install
it. Like it's not in my car.
Because there will come the day you will go, damn it.
I know.
Yeah. Aside from all this, aside from this Colorado bill, that's what we're using, I guess, this moment for is just go get a dash camera. If you don't have one, you should have one anyway. You don't need
someone in the comments said that they actually have a body cam. They're like, they don't do rideshare, but they have a body cam for like food delivery.
Kim has one of those from the display ride company from when we were doing work with them. It's a vest and it's got a little dash cam right here. So when she leaves the car, it actually switches over to this. It's so wild that we live in a world where putting a bag of food at the front door requires all this.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Multi-cam and
just recommend everybody having one. A couple of our kids, they have dash cams. They don't do any kind of delivery stuff, but they'll save your butt even if you're not doing gig work. I mean,
it can't hurt. There's no downside to it. Now, again, I don't mean to take over here. I came in a little bit late, Steve. What exactly is the Colorado bill? Is this them requiring cameras?
Yeah, and that they be on all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And that Uber pay for it. And that Uber drivers we didn't even mention that. Uber drivers can no longer give water or food to passengers.
I always thought that was a bad idea anyway.
Well, their reason is because probably they don't want things
roofie. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Like the water, they're like,
somebody.
But I'm like, if you're recording them now, like now what? Like, why would they waste the roofie? Because they're gonna get popped.
Some people really like getting the things from the driver, though.
Sure, why wouldn't they? You want to give me free stuff? I'll take your free stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Or especially like if you're picking up someone from like an airport, that they're like tired and you want to give them.
But see, in the honeymoon days of Uber, when they paid like $3-4 a mile,
you could do that.
They actually promoted that too. Why don't you have water and snacks and do this since you're making all this money? And people started doing that. And Larry's been around for a long time doing this too. He knows those days went out the window when the per mile rate went under the write-off rate.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, do you remember what the other side of that was? What the flip side was? What the passengers were hearing? Tips included.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. At the very beginning. Yeah. You don't have to tip.
And they got their ass handed to them for that.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't even allow you to tip.
No. Well, there was that, but they were also telling the passengers.
Right.
The tip is included.
Oh yeah.
They were or believe me, they've been lying through their teeth since day one.
That's actually why if anybody's wondering, like, dude, Steve never just brings up somebody on the roundtable. That's why I brought Ed up, because Ed suffered through some of what I see happening in the rideshare space right now. And I feel like a lot of people are going to go through some of this stuff, and better to be prepared and hear some war stories than to get blindsided and have the what you count on for earnings not just diminish, or times you can be able to work that flexibility, but just
my suggestion would be to anybody to look. I don't know how long have you guys been involved in rideshare, Larry? How long have you been doing it?
8 years.
A year?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Jason, how about you?
It's the same. 2016.
Okay, and we know she don't do nothing but drive around all day with no camera.
We also have no fault insurance over here to my defense.
Really? What are you
so
gonna do?
It's actually very different. Like if ever you get into an accident, it's really annoying. Yeah,
Right.
it's not. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
see
not
how
what you
annoying it
think.
is when somebody intentionally slams the brakes on in front of you and you wind
Yeah,
up. Yeah.
that's exactly what it
they
is.
also don't have a point system over there like we do. Like here in Colorado, you get a certain ticket and it's 6
No, we
points.
do.
No, you do, but it's weird because you said
They
it's
do it
like
in French. That's the
you get
problem.
you start off with like 6 or 10 points and they like remove it.
They
Right.
remove. Yes.
So it's like you just watch it drop to know.
Yes.
Like,
It's
well, I
Yeah.
only have enough credits left to get away with 8
Point-
to 10 miles an hour. Over the
Point I was going to get
Yeah.
to with I mean, not everything is for everybody, but I would definitely at the very least look into the more legitimate forms of transportation, be it your taxis and all that kind of thing, your town cars. From what I can see around here, things seem to be picking up with their business. Again, that's here in New York City. I don't want to compare it to any place else. Because down the line, at the very least, talk to drivers, talk to the companies, find out. Because down the line, remember, everything comes back to this point. Uber, Lyft, they don't care about you. They are never going to care about you. They're never going to. You can put 8,000 cameras in your car. They're not going to care about you. Anything they do is for them. It's not going to be for you. If you wind up on the side of the road, they got another guy waiting, another person waiting.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Well, I wanted to bring Ed up for that, and I know Cheyenne has a piece to close us out on. So, Ed, thank you.
Actually,
for
Larry
us for
spoke
this.
about it.
Thank you.
Oh, we were good. We covered it.
Yeah, Larry spoke about it. It was the Toronto 5-year-old story.
Okay. I didn't know if it
Yeah.
was the same thing. So, but yeah, we had other stories for tonight, you guys, and whatnot too. But obviously, we didn't get there.
My fault. My
No.
fault.
It's because this went into
No.
too much. But the main thing that let's see, did I even want to mention it? Because we were going to talk about it this week from last week. It's getting pushed again. Is the DoorDash? I guess we'll do it next week. Is the DoorDash and the Coco robots? Because I did a breakdown of the cost and everything, and I'll just kind of give you guys. I'll give you some clickbait here to bring you back next week. Is that they can go 4 miles per hour. They can carry no more than like very little. They cost $5,000 to $20,000. They have a lifespan of 18 months. And they have to have a pilot user guiding each one. So how effective is this on cost?
You're talking about the little robots on the street?
Yep. The little ones, the cooler looking ones, not the big neuros, just the little ones. Each one has to have.
But you have to have somebody operating it.
You have to have an operator on each one, not for group. It used to be grouped. Now it has to be on each unit.
And you have to make sure you're in a place where nobody's going to push them over. And nobody's going to
throw them in the woods, throw
which
them in
knocks
the lake.
out any college town.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
It's
So
gonna be an interesting conversation for next week.
It is. So you guys, a little bit different of a roundtable this week, but appreciate you guys coming in. And obviously, I'm torn, but I have a dash cam, but I'm torn on this bill. I think it's I don't know. If it's a win-win, I think it'll go nationwide though. And I do think that other states will start to pick up on it real quick. And I think maybe that takes down a lot of illegal accounts. I don't know. But I would absolutely say if you do stick with it and it happens, get your own dash camera too.
Can I say one quick thing? Uber's threatening to pull out of Colorado. They're not going to do it. They do this all the time.
Oh, they do it? I mean, it's their playbook. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But this one has a little bit different of a taste, but still, we'll see. It's their newest thing, you know?
Yeah. So it all boils down to tonight, don't trust Uber or Lyft.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you everybody for joining. And
thanks for having us.
We'll see you back here next week.
Sounds good.
Have a good night.
So.